Okay, hi. Welcome back to my channel. Arctic Ren. I'm Denali. My dog's somewhere behind me. And this is my little crafty corner of the internet where I talk about what I have been making. So today I figured I would do a quick WIP update, show you what I am actively working on, talk about a couple plans. I will not, there's the dog. I will not be showing off any of the finishes that I've had over the summer. Hang on, I'm gonna help. Oh, she got up there. Okay, that's a little bit. So I'm not going to show any of the WIPs that I finished or the finishes that I had over the summer, just because that needs its own video. That's going to be a whole separate video. So let's look at my WIPs real quick. I'm going to try to make this a shorter video, and I would like to try and do these WIP update podcast type things every couple weeks. That way I can kind of keep up on where I am. So the first WIP I'm going to show is the one I started last night. This is a cross stitch, and I have not been cross stitching. So hang on, let me find something to put behind it. I'll put a book behind it. I have not been cross stitching in a while, but I finally decided that I wanted to do one. So this is just a simple project. I'll put an image in of what it's going to look like, but it just says In Darkness Together. This is a pattern by Thread Poetic. I didn't get a lot in. I got the N and the K for darkness. I started at the K because that was the center point. So I'm doing this in DMC 310 for the words, and then DMC 3808 for the little stars that are here, and then there's going to be like a little heart and design underneath. I usually do a cross stitch for me and my husband's anniversary, which is coming up kind of. It's in October, but as little as I've been cross stitching lately, I figured I should probably get started so that I could actually finish it in time. I still have not FFO'd any of my other anniversary pieces, so I should probably do that. Maybe I will do that this year. Also, the needle minder is from Crafty Emily here on YouTube. I think that was a freebie that came with, it was a freebie that came with one of my purchases from her. Okay, so that was my only cross stitch project. So next I will show my only crochet project. So this is supposed to be a doily. Hang on, let me pull my thread out so I don't lose my stitches. I am doing it bigger, though. It is supposed to be a stag beetle. I have the very top of the stag beetle done, and I am working on the bottom. I am working with a bigger crochet hook so that I can make this bigger, because I'm going to turn it into a window hanging. I've been kind of going back and forth between a window hanging and a wall hanging, but I think the window hanging is what I'm going to do. The pattern is by the Crocheted Cocoon, and I got it off of Etsy. I follow her on Instagram, but her shop's on Etsy, and I'm loving this one. It's just very small hook, very small thread, and I'm tired. This is Aunt Lydia's crochet cotton. I think it's Aunt Lydia's. It is in fact Aunt Lydia's crochet cotton in a gray color. It's called Storm. Gonna shove this back in there. Okay, so my next WIP that I'm going to show, I actually have not worked on since Michigan. This was one of the projects. This was like my backup project that I brought for Michigan. I brought a baby sweater, which I finished, and I also brought a sock. And this was like the backup project. It's going to be very hard to show because it is on like a very small circular, but this is the Morelli top. I'm not 100% sure on how you say that. It's by Marius Verden. Marius Verden? I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'll put it. Yeah. But you start with each square, work your way down, then do a little fold over edge on the back, and then start working the body. I'm doing the peplum version of this. Like I said, I have not worked on this since Michigan. I have a test knit, which is taking the majority of my brain power right now. So this one's going to be on hold for a little bit. I'm not too worried about knitting summer patterns in the winter or fall. So I'm not too worried about working on this one later on. The yarn is Hubris Hearthcraft in Lively Nightshade. Where did I get this? Oh, I got this at In the Round Fiber and here in Anchorage. Okay, so look at that one. My other project that I have not touched since Michigan was my like first backup project. And it's just a pair of socks. I'm doing a regular heel flap and gusset. And it's gorgeous. I love the way this yarn is coming out. The main yarn is a D-stash yarn that I got from somebody, and it did not have a label, but it's gorgeous. I wish I knew what it was because I want it. And then also I've posted it on my Instagram stories and other people have wanted it, but I can't tell them what it is. So, oops. The contrast color is, don't know what it is for sure, but it is for my scrap bucket. And the foot, I decided to start about a quarter of the way, or actually about 3/4 of the way through the foot with the contrast color. So it's not going to be just the toe, it's going to be like the last quarter of the foot is going to be the accent color. I did that just to stretch how much of the main color I had, which I think I'm gonna have plenty, but you know. Okay. All right, my next project is a WIP project that I decided to pick up because, or not a WIP, a UFO project that I decided to pick up because I need to finish some of my WIPs. So this is the Skyline Pullover by Toriu, and I am doing a color blocked version. And I am almost finished with the sleeve. For the sleeve, instead of following the pattern, I picked up the amount of stitches she says in the pattern, and I knit a straight sleeve. And then because there is a kind of ribbed design going down the sleeve, I decided to continue that in. I'm giving it a cuff, but like not a cinch in cuff. It's just a 3x1 rib. It's not going to cinch in the pattern. This is going to be more of a, not necessarily a bell sleeve, but more room. So, yep. But I've got about 2 inches more on the sleeve, and then this sleeve will be done, and I will move on to the last sleeve, and I'm hoping to get this done soon. I am desperately craving a new cast on, so I need to get some stuff finished. Okay, my next WIP is the Distance Scarf DK from I did not write down the designer's name. I will put it here. And I'm doing this for In the Round Fiber, the yarn store here is doing a neck accessory knit along unit, and when you finish a neck accessory, it's knit, crochet, whatever. When you finish a neck accessory during the knit along and show it to the owner, she is putting everybody in a drawing for a gift certificate. So this is my Distance scarf so far. I am absolutely loving it. This is all done with cables. I did take this to knit night with me, and I knit probably, I think, this much at knit night. One problem, I made a mistake. I lost track of my cables and I made a mistake. Nobody's gonna notice. And if you can see where I made the mistake, no, you can't. Keep it to yourself, okay? Because I'm not pulling this back. But I am absolutely in love with this. My son actually picked out the color. I had started this in a different yarn. And I thought I had 2 skeins. I know I have 2 skeins. I cannot find the second skein. So, I was not gonna have enough for the entire scarf. So, my son picked out this yarn. It is a beautiful golden color, and I think it'll be gorgeous during the fall. It's perfect fall color. I am hoping to use this more as a headband or a, like, you know, pretty tight scarf. So I'm not gonna do it too long, but I still have a little ways to go. And I took this with, this weekend we went to Seward, and I took this with us and knit in the car and got a whole bunch done. And I'm hoping to get a bunch more and get this done. I'm hoping this week, because sorry if you can hear that fan noise. It is the fan for my axolotls tank. It keeps her temperature under what it needs to be. So anyways, I'm hoping to get this finished this week, because like I said, I'm dying to cast on projects, but I need to finish projects. Okay, my next WIP, which is my biggest WIP and my focus, and it's gonna be my focus for a while. This is a test knit for Ellis Knitwear. Yes, Ellis Knitwear, and it's called the Clegan sweater, and it is an 80s fit inspired sweater, based on like Irish cables and everything, and it is turning out so good. So it is a saddle shoulder construction. You start at the shoulders and knit the back. I am almost done with the back. I think I have like 3 centimeters left of knitting. It's not going to take me too much longer, and the back will be done, and then I can start on the front. But I am absolutely loving the cables. It is coming out. I'm going to show close up. It is coming out so pretty. And I love it. And then it's got Irish moss stitch. I think it's Irish moss stitch, or is it just moss stitch? I don't know. On the sides, which is so squishy and beautiful, and I love it. But so for this yarn, Malabrigo yarn, it's a Malabrigo Rios. I forgot, sorry. For this one's yarn, I am using, I put my WIPs on top of my yarn pile. I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in grass. I was looking for a, like when I think of Ireland, there's like certain areas that I think of, and green grass. So I definitely, because this isn't, you know, Irish cable inspired, and I wanted this to be an Irish inspired sweater. So I opted for this grass green that reminds me of certain images that I have in my head about Ireland. So, I don't know, somebody keeps flicking the door closed that's outside. I apologize if you can hear that. But this is just turning out so good. It is a very oversized sweater. I think I'm doing 10 inches of positive ease, maybe more. I don't remember. But it's supposed to be a pretty positive ease heavy pattern. I am absolutely loving it. I am hoping to have the back yoke done in hopefully today. We'll see on what I decide to focus on. And then I want to get started on the front. This is a pretty long test knit. She's giving us a pretty long amount of time to do this, which is awesome because it's intricate. It takes a hot minute to get through each row. The pro rows, the wrong side rows, are like super easy, but the cable, and I was having troubles keeping track of my my row on the chart, on the cable chart, because it is, I mean, it's a big chart and it's small, and like if it's a chart that you only work once, I will just highlight the chart. But this one you work repeatedly throughout the body of the sweater, and I'll use like sticky notes. However, it was like 3 sticky notes just to kind of not block off one for each of the big cable sections. I was having troubles dealing with it, so I ended up downloading Knit Companion, I think is what it's called, on my iPad. I could zoom in on the pattern, and it's got a little highlight bar that you can move, and that has been helping so much. It makes this faster to knit and also easier to keep track of where I'm at. So yeah, hopefully in 2 weeks when I do this update again, I will have hopefully a couple finishes and a lot of progress. As for plans, I don't really have any. other than finishing some projects so that I can start some projects. I'd like to start some small projects, and I'm starting to feel that need to cast on hats that I normally get in the fall once the weather starts to change. So I will probably be knitting a couple hats. I want to knit some small projects, so hats would be perfect. I do have a like bandana kerchief shawlette thing that I want to knit, which won't take very long. And then I think my main set-in plan right now is I have a hat. My cousin has a hat that she absolutely loves, and it's perfect for her to wear to keep her warm, but also help not be too tight when she has migraines. She asked me if I could recreate it, and also kind of fix up hers because it's kind of fallen apart. She's tried to find the hat, either a pattern or one that she can buy. Hasn't been able to. So she asked me if I could do it, and I'm very excited to start doing that. I know it's not going to take me very long once I actually get around to it. It is a pretty chunky yarn, so it's just a matter of looking at the pattern, fixing it, and from there I will probably film a video doing that, just because it'll be interesting to me. I don't know if anybody's gonna watch it, but yeah. Okay, it has been 22 minutes, and that is all that I have for today. So I'm gonna go. I got knitting to do, and I'm gonna get back to my book. I'm currently reading Sanitarium. Actually, okay, quick side tangent, sorry. I have been in like a reading slump for like a year and a half, where I have not been reading very much. All of a sudden, in the last week, I have been reading like crazy. So, yay. I am finally, hopefully, out of that slump. I finished 5 books in the last like 6 days, so yay. And I'm actually enjoying reading again, which was something I haven't for a while. So anyways, I'm gonna get back to knitting. I got work to do. I will see you guys next week, and yeah, bye.